Hey everybody, hoping you're having a great day. My name is Matt, and today I wanted to talk about this idea of AI fatigue. Now, if you haven't heard about what AI fatigue is, it's essentially this feeling of when you're using AI too much or when you feel like you're completely reliant on AI, so much so that you feel almost worthless or that you can't keep using these tools and that you can't keep up. And it's just a really bad feeling in general. And a lot of developers are experiencing it, and a lot of people who just use AI in general are experiencing it as well. The reason why a lot of people are experiencing this right now is just blatantly because AI is moving so fast. Because if Opus 4.5 was the last model to come out ever, I'm certain that we would actually be in a really good spot today with AI. But Opus 4.6 came out. There are new models being released. ChatGPT 5.4 came out too. Even just me saying these things to somebody who doesn't understand AI or isn't just in this AI bubble, they're not going to understand like, okay, so what's the big deal? But for us as developers who use these tools, who have to be worried about these tools essentially taking our creativity, our expression, it's something that we have to be worried about. We have to think about a lot. And that's what causes the fatigue. It's the thinking about the future. It's the always trying to be on top of things. And today I just wanted to really break that down and see how you can both overcome AI fatigue and kind of recognize the signs of when you might be getting into a fatigue spot where you can just experience burnout and stop wanting to code whatsoever. Let's start with the first one. How can you identify if you have AI fatigue? I think the first thing that you can identify in yourself is this feeling of not being able to keep up. And honestly, every single time I scroll Twitter, a little bit of that feeling kind of like rushes into me. I'm like, oh my God, this guy did a research paper. Oh my God, this new open weight model is so good. Oh my God, there's so many things I just don't understand. And I just want to learn so much. But the issue is, it's that you're seeing from an outsider's perspective and an outsider's view when you see people post these things. And also, people are, and yeah, I don't know why I'm having such a tough time saying it, but what I'm trying to say is people lie on social media all the time, right? There's incentives to do it, and people will do it. And so you have to be careful on what you watch and what you see, and just always having a little bit of skepticism in the back of your head, especially when it comes to AI, which is such a new field. And that brings me into my second point, where you instead of like actually using these AI models, actually experimenting and tinkering, you just watch a lot and you consume content and you spend time thinking about how you can make your setup better, how I can push this thing 1% faster or upgrade this one thing that much percent better. And it's like watching instead of doing is like LARPing, you know? Like you're not technically getting any better at programming, at using AI, at learning how to get the best out of these models if you just spend all day watching. I'm not going to say you're not going to learn something if you're watching some great content creators and spending some time actually like learning new skills, but if you're just watching and scrolling on a feed and seeing, memes and things that aren't actually related to you learning, then you're going to feel like you're always behind. You see people saying like, oh, look at this, I one-shot this, I did that, like without any sort of proof, without showing learning. You're just seeing the end result, not actually learning the steps of how to get there. And you're going to keep seeing that, right? People love sharing that last portion of it. They love showing that they finished the race, not the sweat and the tears and them, falling out in the middle of the race and the struggle right there. And so you just have to be aware of these things. And I think you should just be aware of it using social media in general. This kind of leads me to my next point. Okay, so how can we start fighting AI fatigue and how can we start thinking about using agents and using AI tools in a more effective way? Well, I want to start with this idea that Salvatore Sanfilippo, the original founder of Redis, kind of brought up in one of his videos that I watched recently. In his video that he posted to Blue Sky, and I hope that the YouTube auto dub feature accurately captured what he was trying to say, he talks a lot about this idea of flow and how getting into a flow state doesn't mean that you're actually doing and orchestrating a lot of things all at once, right? Like a painter doesn't technically paint 3 paintings and have 4 different things going on all at once when he's in flow state. He's just focusing on one portion or one idea very, very finely and having complete, like locked in focus on just that point. And that's something that hasn't been talked a lot about with AI tools. I think AI tools, they want you to pretend like automating everything is the solution to everything, right? Some things cannot be automated. Some things you have to go in and check. And I'm certain AI is going to get better. I'm certain these tools are going to get better and you're going to have to automate less. And there will always be a point, I believe, where humans will still have to be in the loop somewhere, right? Because who's going to be giving the agent or the AI tool the prompt, right? Who's going to be the one actually getting the thing to do the work, right? Instead of opening up 4 Claude sessions and having 8 things going on at once, just focus on one conversation. That's it. And this has helped me actually a ton. Instead of, I used to have 3 like cursor tabs and, several agents going on at once. If you have something that you need to get done, just focus on having one agent, one conversation, and actually, as the agent is prompting or doing its thing and actually working, I want you to think about what you're actually doing, right? See what it's doing, observe, rather than just saying and then letting things go. Conversations are a dance. You have to be able to go back and forth with somebody in order for it to be a fruitful conversation. If you are having 8 conversations at once and you're at like a networking event and it's like, oh, hey, I'm Matt. Oh, hey, you're not going to actually learn about the person you're talking to. And you're not going to actually learn about or understand or even like get a grasp on what the AI tool is doing unless you really focus in on just one. And obviously, if you're doing something boilerplate, if you're doing something that you already know what to do, sure, you can have maybe one more agent do it for you while you're figuring this thing out. But I'm talking about people who know they can do 3 things at once, 4 things at once. Don't do that. Just focus on one and get that one thing to work 100% of the time. Or I've been so ready to ship slop and so ready to be like, okay, I just got this thing to work after having a super long conversation, after putting all these different pieces together, and it locked in, and I'm like, oh, I'm so happy. But I probably could have gotten to that goal much better if I just spent one time focusing on the really important feature, and then everything around that I just did separately or thought about or gave my brain some time to like think about it. If you want to overcome AI fatigue, you have to become a better programmer, but you also have to be somebody that uses AI in a way where you are focusing on challenging your assumptions and not relying on the AI always. And what I mean by that is you get too comfortable. You get too comfortable with the idea of, oh yeah, the AI agent can just do it for me, right? For me, it's something that I've been doing a lot when I'm learning a new tool or I'm using a technology I'm not used to is I'll ask the AI, okay, before we start implementing, obviously let's plan, but I also want you to challenge my assumptions as I'm coding and as I am setting up this plan. And what the AI will do is it'll actually ask me questions on why I'm making this design choice. Why am I going to accept this? Or what do I think this output's going to be? And for me, that's actually really fun. And even though it is slower, right? The AI is technically still going to do the same thing, but hey, at least I have a little bit of an understanding. And it doesn't feel like I'm giving my agency away. It feels like I still have a little bit of agency there left. And I'm saying like, okay, yes, and then maybe no. And then, I can still give my input because at the end of the day, it's still your product, right? An AI tool cannot make whatever it wants unless you give it a prompt. So do not take your agency away. You have to be the one. It's literally like called an agent for a reason. You are giving the person an order or giving the AI tool an order. You have to understand exactly what you're telling it to do, or else, like, of course you're going to be fatigued, right? You're just having somebody do exactly what you want and not even like thinking second about it. You're just accepting the output. And you can't be accepting. You have to question it. You have to tinker. You have to really understand that this decision was made by me and I have, my skin in the game, and it's okay that I was wrong. And you can fail, right? And that nothing is going to happen if you do. You can prompt the agent again. You can pick up from where you left off if you need to stop. And that leads me to like my last point with, I think, AI tools and just AI in general. I think not enough of us are being honest with ourselves with if AI is actually making us more productive. And I know a lot of people have been doing research on this, and I know there has been a lot of like discussion on, hey, whether or not AI is actually a net negative or net positive. personally, I already know that AI has made me be able to do things that I would not have been able to do if there wasn't AI, right? But that does not mean that I am a smarter person because of it, right? Like, because I know how to use a calculator does not make me better at math. Sure, I can answer questions faster, but that's not an accurate gauge of my understanding of math and my understanding of just the general world about me. And I think that honestly, the only way that you understand and the only way that you overcome AI fatigue or burnout or whatever is just being honest with yourself and saying, okay, like, I don't understand this, and I'm going to let the agent figure out what it's doing, and I'm not going to be okay with the output until I understand exactly what it is. And that takes time, and that's honestly feels super unproductive when you're sitting there and just reading lines, but we used to do this. We built all of the software that AI tools use right now off of that same method before. You can still program effectively by using your brain. AI hasn't replaced everything yet. Sure, you can make decisions. It can be really good in certain places, but remember, you still have agency. You still have control of that conversation today. And don't give that up. Because the second you do give that up, then why are you doing the work in general? Why are you there? Seriously. Like, and that's the hard problem, right? If you feel like you're not doing anything, then you're probably not doing anything. And then that's going to make you really tired. It's going to make you sick of like trying to keep up always or trying to like replace yourself essentially, because if you're just relying on AI all the time, that's what you're doing. You're watching yourself being replaced. And now, this is not a gloom and doom conversation. I'm still super excited about AI. I think that, again, the tools and the things that it's going to allow us to do in the future is insane. And I am so like bought in on it that I would genuinely teach people who have never used AI how to use AI. Like, I've shown my mom how to use these tools. I'm the first person to say like, hey, here's how you do the thing you're doing with AI a little bit better. Because I care that people are getting the best output and that, you know, people aren't wasting their time essentially. But I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, I just can't do it anymore. Or like, I saw some videos of some guy saying that like, AI one-shots my coding ability. Like, it's so much better than me. Like, yeah, of course it's better than you. It's been trained on every single programmer in the world's like data, like literally scraped everything from GitHub possible and uses it in its database. And it's like, I'm not going to fight against that. I'm going to use it in a way that makes me happier as a person. And I'm not going to think about it in the idea of AI becoming my self-worth, or my output of chatting with an AI bot is going to make me, you know, a better person or not. Because it just straight does not, right? And I think a lot of people in tech and a lot of people on Twitter and just in general need to understand that. I think understanding that has honestly helped me a ton. And again, I don't think AI is bad. I don't think these innovations and these tools aren't bad. In fact, I think that there are a lot of tools that AI created that I would, you know, think that actually made the world a better place in general. But I'm not worried too much about it in terms of it, you know, being the thing that I can't ever use again, or it's going to replace me so I cannot use it, right? I want to get the most out of it, but I'm doing it in a safe way. I'm doing it in a way that I'm not overcomplicating it too much. It's a tool. I'm just going to use it like that, and I'm going to get the best output, but I'm not going to spend all day watching videos, trying to figure out what the best setup is, because I already know the real answer, the real guys, is just, if you use the best model, you're just going to get the best outputs. So just use the best model. And for that, for me, is Opus 4.6. So that's what I'm going to keep doing. And if they release a new one, then I'm going to keep using that. And if another company releases a better one, then I'm just going to use that. And that's, at the end of the day, is all that it takes for me. So I hope you guys learned something from this video, and I hope that you don't feel so fatigued after watching and learning a little bit from somebody who has spent a lot of time with AI. Thank you so much for watching, and if you appreciated this video, I'd really appreciate if you subscribed, or if you took a look at my community where I post about business and AI.